when the levee breaks. For all you religious Christians and just plain curious researchers, you may want to go to the Bible for the same related info. Since Katrina struck on the 29th, check the 29th Psalm. It says, the voice of the Lord sitteth upon the flood. See, that's why y'all needed to be in there, you dumb motherfuckers. Come on back while it's flooding. You're doing us a favor. Because your Lord was on the flood. You should have been back there. But the metaphysical significance related to the Kabbalistic computations of the Illuminati will be covered next week with the help and expertise of a brilliant decoder and warrior, Brother A.A. Rashid. He gave me some information that I'm going to incorporate when I get home. I'm going to read. And I want to thank you. If you're getting this tape, beloved, thank you very much for your help and your expertise. That brother, he's right now incarcerated, but he's coming out. And when he comes out, he's going to tear ass. He's got so much heavy shit that I am the one, I'm like John the Baptist. I've prepared you for this, brother. Because get ready and start building your metaphysical, Kabbalistic archives. Because this brother's going to come and show you how these bastards are using the Kabbalah, sorcery, and your own magic as Condoleezza being high priestess to be in there and do shit to keep us in check and lock. Alright? Check? Alright. Now, an engineer who wished to remain anonymous said, quote, concrete breaches in one or more levels. That's what he said. Concrete breaches in one or more levels. Concrete, listen, concrete for levees is made of grade 1 strength and is always poured to have a substantial safety factor above the most possible loading. In other words, whatever is set up as the structure's best strength as related, they make it 10 times better. The concrete must be obtained from a certified supplier and tests are usually done to assure up the specs. Put it this way, he said, a breach in the levee is comparable to a building falling down while it was being constructed. Let me say that again. He said a breach in that levee is comparable to a building coming down while you're building it. In other words, it don't happen. In fact, this again is precisely what is being done. Divers inspecting the ruptures, I've already told you. According to the divers, the source spoke of a condition of anonymity. The lab found, quote, we found traces of boron-enhanced fluoronitromino explosives, as well as PBXN 111, indicating that at least 2 types of explosive devices were used. Again, the levees did not break during the hurricane, but an entire day afterwards. In other words, this was straight up murder by drowning. So why Katrina? Very quickly. Well, to understand the true nature of the reptilian NWO agenda in their minds, we must examine who benefits at the end of the national crisis. If anyone here still thinks that this is a natural disaster, they need to carefully examine the subtle use of language in the description of motives, politics, actions, and the results of their agenda. The use of the word refugee again is a dead giveaway that we are at war with a foreign power. And this foreign power just attacked us. This foreign power is the U.S. government. Also, the use of Russian names like Katrina to instigate an attack against the people reveals another clue as to the nature of the Pentagon's psychological warfare. The other one being Ivan. The other one being Ophelia. So was calling this military operation Operation Tsar. Operation Tsar. Tsar. As was shown in the CNN ticker tape below the screen. and skipping 2 or 3 letters of the alphabet to name the next major hurricane, Ophelia. They went from Katrina, and you didn't hear shit, to Ophelia. But check it. You got Katrina and Ophelia. Now you see they play with words in your head. You got Katrina and Ophelia. Katrina and Ophelia. What does it start with? Katrina starts with a what? Ophelia starts with an O. Bang! Check! You're not listening. Not looking. Code breaking.
Right?
Metaphysical thinking. They're playing over your head. Katrina was a military operation that I named Operation Death March. One general, very quickly. His name is Gary Jones, commander of the Louisiana National Guard Joint Task Force. He said, quote, "This place is going to look like Somalia. We're going to go out and take this city back. This will be a combat operation to get the city under order." To substantiate this, Russian intelligence reported that 2 brigades of Army and Navy elite special forces have been ordered back from the battlefields of Iraq to, quote, take the city back from what one reporter calls a ruthless mob. Source Shafal reports in an August 26th article that the camps of ICE, America's Road to Fascist Rule, nears completion as U.S. government accelerates building of its concentration camps. ICE, which is ICE, is a security branch of the police force created to remove internal threats in communities. File states that history shows that the leaders of the fascist nations are never more popular to the masses when they shout of protecting their homeland. All that remains to be done by the American military leaders is to provide the final cataclysmic event to galvanize the citizenry, to force them into relinquishing what little remains of their freedom. And these plans are already on the way. From the Newsmax news service, we see the article entitled FEMA's Plans for Mass Destruction Reaction and Action. Quote, on January 19, 2003, FEMA posted a special bid notice for one of the agency's largest contract awards ever, offering contracting firms $300 million for a 5-year contract to simply prepare plans to create temporary housing on a scale never before imagined, and then just stand by. Let me say that again. FEMA contracted 100 companies to build with $300 million thatch houses and quick-up houses for hundreds of thousands of people on a scale never before seen, and then just stand by. Just wait. In fact, the name of the project was titled Standby Technical Assistance for Disaster-Related Operations. FEMA officials met with the representatives of firms seeking the bids, approximately 100. FEMA officials made it very clear that the purpose of the meeting, one of the most massive undertakings in the agency's history, was to prepare for potential mass destruction attacks in U.S. cities. Those who attended the meeting told Newsmax that most of the meeting dwelled with how the firms should handle biological, chemical, and nuclear disasters. Now next week, or the 25th, when I speak to you again, I'm going to break down how HAARP is designed to create nuclear devastation without radiation. Let me say that again. HAARP is designed to create nuclear devastation without radiation. And you know what? HAARP is working right now. As your economies begin to crash, you will see more and more of such predicted devastation. And coupled with the new Bankruptcy Acts of 2005, will cause the activation of the above-mentioned Standby Assistance Disaster Relief. Americans, or actually U.S. citizens, will be systematically evicted from those areas targeted by the Illuminati bankers under the cover of so-called natural disasters and terrorist-related attack scenarios. As citizens, by the first successful exercise of the policies of mass population movement and land reclamation by the New World Order, Americans are soon to experience the inquisitional terror of the Jesuit order's reductions, what became known later as concentration camps. The first such reductions or concentration camps by the Jesuit order were the Guarani reductions, which lasted from 1600 to 1750. You see, the American aristocracy, who are blood related to the European aristocracy, and who owe allegiance to the Vatican aristocracy, want the lands back from the unwashed, low-life masses, to resurrect the European feudal system of master and serf, and to finally turn the continental landmass into an aristocratic, elitist Disneyland.
Right.
And if you don't believe what I have just said, and that we are scheduled for eviction as black and poor peoples, I now read to you a top-secret 1983 KGB memo that became known after the fall of the Soviet Union, was disseminated amongst the Politburo membership, and it reveals some ominously chilling plans that were being implemented by the parasitic elite. Listen carefully, brothers and sisters. It appears that the landmass called America will, and in this very near future, be reseeded with wild animals from Africa, lions, elephants, cheetahs, baboons, and South American orangutans. Oh, get ready. Did you hear what I just said? No, you didn't. They about to bring lions and tigers and bears to your backyard.
Right.
And if you ain't out, you fool. Let me say this again. The American aristocracy sees this land as a playground. And all you niggas thinking you living up in the hills to get away, they're coming after your ass.
Right.
They are evicting you from places where they have plans to rebuild playgrounds for the very super rich.
Right.
The Gulf port is going to be protected from any hurricanes in the future by heart. And let me just tell you something. How many people fly in planes? How many people trust the pilot? You have to, right? Why? Why? Why do you need to trust the pilot? All in right there!
What do you say again, bro?
The pilot's not flying the fucking plane!
Okay.
He's not even landing it!
See?
Alright, let me say this again to you.
Okay.
Your pilot doesn't, you know what? Brother Leon told me that his teacher is ex-military, Air Force. And he shook up the whole goddamn class by saying, the pilots don't fly the plane. Well, why are they necessary? Well, they make the passengers feel comfortable.
Right.
There's a motherfucker someplace with a joystick.
Right.
Flying your damn plane. How many people would get on if they knew that? I just came back from London.
Remote control.
I didn't want to tell her that the pilot's back there doing this.
Phil, could be a high frequency signal too.
Like I said,
They're being shown that in movies too, Phil, a lot of times.
oh yeah. All right, now I'm writing it down. Brothers and sisters, the true death toll is nowhere near the ridiculous numbers being given by the prostitute press selling their political pimps' political agenda. The more accurate and logical figure is what I said, given at the level of devastation. The amount of body bags that was sent in. You can gauge the amount of devastation by the amount of body bags requested. The amount of bags that were requested and piled up in St. Gabriel's quarters was 75,000. Yes, actually 50,000 people so far, the majority of which were black and brown people, were coldly and systematically murdered on national TV by FEMA and other black ops branch of the government.